So now we will discuss the efficiency in production and production possibilities curve. So now we will consider a country. The production efficiency in production for a country means, in the words of Pareto, we can say that efficiency in production is a situation in which the production of one commodity cannot be increased without hampering the production of at least one of the other commodities. So, to explain it, we will take a very simplified example. That let us consider that in one country there are two sectors only, that agricultural sector and we call it A, and another is the industrial sector. That is I. So total labor force is given as L bar for the time being. Number of labor is, and we consider that labor is the only variable factor of production. Now, LA means the number of labor in agricultural sector. So, LB means number of labor in industrial sector. So, if we find that LA plus LB equals to L bar, that means number of worker employed in agricultural sector plus, LA plus, I call it LI. So, if we consider the number of workers employed in agricultural sector plus number of worker engaged in industrial sector, the sum is the equal to the total number of workforce or total number of labor present in the country. So in this situation, if we want to increase the production of agricultural sector, what do we have to do? We have to transfer some workers from industrial sector to the agricultural sector. So whenever we are going to increase the agricultural production in this time period, that means in this situation, what do we have to do? We have to sacrifice the industrial output. So similarly, if we want to increase the industrial output or industrial production, what do we have to do? We have to transfer workers from agricultural sector to industrial sector. So that means agricultural production will get hampered. So this is called the efficiency. That means the full employment level of equilibrium, when all the resources are perfectly utilized. But if contrary to this, if we think this case that LA plus LB is less than L bar. So in such a situation, if we want to increase the production of agricultural sector, what we can do? We can do, LA plus LI. So if we want to increase the production of agricultural sector, what do we do? We can do it without hampering the production of industrial sector. So this time what we will do? We will just appoint the workers from the surplus pool of labor in agricultural sector. So this can be continued unless we reach this equilibrium point, LA plus LI equals to L bar. So from here we can find still that efficiency in production of a country means a situation in which all the resources are perfectly utilized and there is no surplus resource in the country. So from here we got the definition of production possibilities curve or production possibilities frontier. So whatever you call it, curve or frontier, but definition is that production possibilities curve, this is the locus of different combinations of here we are considering a two commodity space, the combination of two commodities that a country can produce now. Produce under which conditions? There are two conditions what we need to mention. Number one, resources and state of technology. Those are constant. And second thing is that resources are perfectly utilized. So in such a situation, if we find that if we want to increase the output of one sector, we have to sacrifice the output of other sector. There is no other way. So from here we will draw the production possibilities curve. So in vertical axis we are measure, let us consider X means in the agricultural production and Y means industrial production. So we will draw a curve. This is normally the normal shape of a production possibilities curve. We give it name T, we give it T dash. So in this curve what we see at this point, so OT is the, if we can say OT is the level of output when all the resources are engaged in industrial production. So agricultural production will be 0. And similarly, if we consider this point, the horizontal intersect, that indicates all the resources are engaged in agricultural production and hence industrial production will be 0. And between T and T dash, we will get numerous combinations between X and Y, and for producing all the combinations of X and Y, all the resources are exhausted or perfectly utilized. So if we consider that Y0, X0, so Y1, X1, so whenever we are moving from point, if we consider it point A to point B, then what we have to do? To increase the production of X, we have to sacrifice the production of Y. So that means there is an inverse relationship between two commodities, the production of two commodities, because our resources are constant and state of technology is also constant. So now we will discuss what about the slope of PPC. The slope of PPC indicates, we call it the marginal rate of transformation between X and Y. In other words, we can say that opportunity cost of X in terms of Y. So that is very simple thing, that whenever your resources are constant, resource and state of technology are constant, whenever all the resources are perfectly utilized, then how much Y you have to sacrifice to produce one additional unit of X. So this is the definition of marginal rate of transformation, or in other words it is called opportunity cost of X in terms of Y. In simple words, how much Y you have to sacrifice to produce one additional unit of X. That means the next best alternative that is sacrificed. The next best alternative is what? Y, to sacrifice one additional unit of X. Now question is, why the production possibilities curve is concave to the origin? This is because of, as we increase the production of X and reduce the production of Y, the marginal rate of transformation between X and Y is increasing. That means gradually you have to sacrifice more units of Y to get one additional unit of X. Question is, why it is so? Because this is simply due to imperfect mobility of the factors. So what is factor mobility? Factor mobility means if we shift one person from one sector to another, his marginal productivity or his efficiency will not change. So he can work in two different sectors with equal efficiency. That is called perfect mobility of labor. So similarly, capital also. If we shift the capital from one sector to another, if we see there is no change in the productivity, we can say that the capital is perfectly mobile. But in real life, the resources are not perfectly mobile. The resources are imperfectly mobile. So some of the workers, for example, some of the workers, they can produce in agricultural sector with maximum efficiency, but whenever you transfer them to industrial sector, their productivity will become very low. Similarly, there can be some workers who can work with maximum efficiency in the industrial sector, but whenever you transfer them to the agricultural sector, their productivity will become very low. And there are some, so that means the degree of flexibility differs from person to person or differs from unit to unit. So that's why initially whenever we are releasing the workers from, if we start from T, so if we are increasing the production of X, what do we do? First we will release those workers who are very efficient in agricultural sector, but in industrial sector their productivity is very less. So if we move from these 2 points, we see that for the transfer of workers or resources, there is a very small decline in production of Y, but there is huge rise in production of X. Similarly, if we reach at this point, we can see that there will be huge decline in production of Y, but there is very small rise in production of X. So what is that? Here we will release the workers who are very efficient in agricultural sector, but least efficient in industrial sector. Similarly, here all the resources are transferred. So here the industrial sector will release those workers whose productivity is high in industry but very low in agricultural. So whenever they are added to the agricultural sector, that will contribute very less, but the decline in production, industrial production, will be very high. So mainly due to the imperfect mobility of the factors, the production possibilities curve is concave to the origin, or in other words, as we increase the production of X by reducing the production of Y, the marginal rate of transformation will gradually increase. The opportunity cost of X in terms of Y will gradually increase. Now, why we call this frontier? We also call this a production possibility frontier. Frontier means what? Boundary. So this curve also represents the production boundaries of the country. For example, if we consider that Y0 is the production of Y, maximum amount of X that can be produced is OX0. So if we want to increase, keeping Y unchanged, if we want to increase the production of X, for example, that Y0, X1, this is impossible for the country. That means any point beyond the production possibilities curve, that combination of production is unattainable by the country, impossible for the country given its resources and technology. Now, what is the implication of any point on the production PPC and inside PPC? So any point A on the production possibilities curve means that all the resources are perfectly utilized, or we can call exhausted. So if we want to from A, if we want to increase the production of X, that means we have to reduce the production of Y. this is y to x2. So whenever from A to B we are moving, we have to sacrifice the production of y. That means it is, just remember the definition of efficiency in production. If we want to increase the production of one commodity, we have to sacrifice the production of other. So if we move along the production PPC, that means each point indicates full employment of resources or perfect utilization of existing resources. But if we consider any point inside the PPC, let us consider point G. So at G, production of X is, Y is, let us consider Y dash, production of X is X dash. So this is a point of inefficiency. Why? Simple thing that, just see that keeping Y unchanged, we can increase the production of X up to OX star. So here what do you see? Without hampering the production of Y, we can increase the production of X, because now whenever we are considering point G, resources are unutilized or underutilized. So in this situation, if you want to increase the production of X, you need not sacrifice the production of Y. And similarly, if we want to increase the production of Y, we can also do that. That means production of Y can be increased up to OY star from OY dash, and that without sacrificing the production of X. So any point on the PPC indicates full employment of resources or perfect utilization of existing resources, but whenever we are considering any point inside the PPC, that indicates underutilization, or we can say that underutilization, the problem of unemployment of resources. The resources are not perfectly utilized, imperfect utilization of resources. Next thing is that the shift of PPC. So production possibilities curve can shift outward, number one, increase in stock of resources. For example, if there is any capital formation, there is increase in labor force, so the production possibilities curve will shift outward. Number two, if there is technological progress, the country is using more sophisticated technology. So what we will find, that given the resources, the country can produce more level of output. Efficiency of the workers will increase and more level of output. And number three, both of them. Similarly, if we think the opposite, when the PPC can come inside, number one, there is decline in the stock of resources that can take place during the time of war, during the time of famine. Next thing is that, so if there is decline in the stock of resources, production possibilities curve will shift inside. Now, and next thing is that if there is any biased technological progress, for example, this is X, this is Y, This is initially PPC. Now the X means agricultural sector, Y means industrial sector. So if there is, we consider there is a case of green revolution in the country. That means improvement in agricultural productivity, but industrial sector is not affected by that. So this will be the now shift of the production possibilities curve. So this time the technological progress is biased towards agriculture. Similarly, if we consider that the country has huge progress in industry due to technological advancement, but the agricultural production remains more or less unaltered. So this time you will see this type of production change in PPC, shift in PPC, in which the technological progress is biased towards the industrial sector. Or sometimes what we can see, there may be the case of neutral technological progress. That means both of the production of both commodities can increase. So by observing production possibilities curve, we can mainly predict about the supply side of the country. But one major drawback is that we know, but from production possibilities curve, we know that what combinations of two commodities a country can produce. But we cannot tell at what will be the consumption point of the country, because production possibilities curve only represents the supply side of the country, not the demand side. So to determine what will be the exact level of production of X and Y in the country, we need to know about the demand. So sometimes we can introduce also consumption possibility locus or community indifference curve to find out by community indifference curve that represents the preference pattern of the country to find out equilibrium level of output. But production possibilities curve gives a clear idea about the supply side of the country.